So I went from selling out in a week to selling out in like 3 days to selling out in a day to selling out in an hour. Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Vanessa. I am 26 years old and the owner of St. Venus. So if you're new to my channel, then feel free to stay if you're interested in all things girl boss, manifestation, if you want to see the behind the scenes of my business and my brand, if you want to see me potentially start different businesses and brands and how I plan on doing that and how I plan on scaling them, then this is the place for you. Make sure to subscribe. And in today's episode, I just want to give you guys a little background on me, my journey, my story, how I managed to, at 26 years old, run and operate a brand that generates over $500,000 in revenue each year. It didn't happen overnight. It was, a lot of trial and error, but I stayed the course, and now we are where we are. So, I was born in Haiti. I was born in Port-au-Prince. I'm a Port princess. And when I was 4 years old, my family relocated to Brooklyn, New York. And I lived in Brooklyn, New York my entire life up until recently. And like many immigrant stories, like many Black stories in America or around the world, like we did not have a lot growing up. My parents were in their 30s. They are leaving careers. They're leaving family behind. They're learning a new language. They sacrificed a lot for the life and the opportunity that me and my sister have now. And I do not take that lightly. I take that very, very seriously. And that has always motivated me to, kind of do right by them. So get good grades in school, not cause trouble, those type of things. Some of those things growing up that like has also kind of formed me as the person I am, call it a trauma response, if you will. Growing up poor and, having roaches and having rats and not wanting your friends to come over because not that your house was dirty, my mom was an extremely clean person, but that the environment that we were in was nasty. Like the landlord did not care and my parents did not want to cause trouble. There was mold in the house, like all of these things, to American standards, like not having like the nicest clothes, like going to school with like $2 and then after school pretending you're not hungry because I can't afford the $8 plate of food you guys are all getting, but I can stay and I can chat and we can chop it up. All of those things I learned at a young age that if I want something, I have to get it for myself. Like if I'm gonna wait around for other people to do it for me, it's not gonna happen. My parents aren't gonna magically come up with more money. Like they weren't business owners, they weren't into entrepreneurship. They knew what they knew. And they've always encouraged me and my sister to go into nursing because that is the tried and true path. Nursing is dependable, nursing is stable, but I hate science. And I'm not going to do something I don't want to do. I do not do well in things I don't want to do, and I had to figure out another way. I knew that I wanted to go away to school for college. I wanted the American dormant experience, so I made sure I got a scholarship to Howard University, and I was able to go. And while there, I became a business major, and the head of the marketing department changed my life. I wasn't originally a marketing major. I didn't have a major when I accepted this. Well, I decided to go there, but I spoke with her and I was kind of like, why marketing? Like, should this be a major? I don't really know. And she was like, listen, if you want to do finance and accounting, they count numbers. That's fine. That's cool. But if you want to create money, if you want to do more than just count money, if you want to create money, then marketing is where you need to be. And I was like, bingo, that's where I'm going to be. I want to be where the money makers are at because that tells me that I will never need again. And like I said, up to this point, I've only ever been around people with a scarcity mindset, and it's understandable. Obviously, when it's crabs in a barrel type of thing, and there are many people fighting over limited resources, I completely understand it. I just knew that I didn't want to live like that. And based off what she told me, it sounded like this was the way for me not to have to do that. And I always knew that I would need to do it for myself. So I become a marketing major, and junior year I had to move back because I didn't have enough money to stay at school. Even though my tuition was covered with my scholarship, housing and stuff like that, I had to take out loans for that. And my freshman year I had all these grants, but then something happened and my grants went away. So I ended up having to move back home. It wasn't all bad though, because I got to study abroad in Thailand for 6 months. It was an amazing experience, and that was my first taste of entrepreneurship, because I took an entrepreneurship class while I was there. And the idea that I had with my group was to start a planner business. If you guys know me, if you guys saw my last video, y'all will know I'm obsessed with planning, and I mean it. So we start a planner business, and I'm like, oh, we could do like a habit tracker planner, and it could be super cute, and have all these ideas. And I am so grateful for the 2 Thai girls on my team, because me and the other international student did not do a lot of the work. Like, we showed up to class, we presented the presentation. I had all the ideas, I was giving up. But in terms of like putting the presentation together, the deck, finding the printer, like, we were like no help. Either way, we all made like 4 times our money back from that, and I was just super excited to know that like I'm doing it, I'm creating money, like this is absolutely insane. And up until that point, I never considered entrepreneurship. Like, I knew somebody whose major was entrepreneurship, and I'm just like, who's hiring you with an entrepreneurship major? Like, marketing, accounting, information technology, those are careers. You can get a job with that. You cannot get a job with an entrepreneurship major. Like, you're wasting your time. What did I know? Because, yeah. Anyway, so that was my first little taste of entrepreneurship, and I really loved it. I thought it was super exciting to kind of not have like a limit or a cap to like how much you can make. It's as much work you want to put in. And I was like, that's cool. I get back, and I'm about to graduate college now. And it's about to be the first time where I'm separated from my identity as a student. And I had to figure out like something else to do with my free time. Like, I've always done multiple things: ballet in school, or cheer in school, or when I was at Howard, I was on the stroll team in school. And then post that, I was always working in school. So now I'm just gonna work. Like, I need to do something else. I wanted to kind of like fill up my time. I wanted my life to kind of feel full. Me and my friend would talk on the phone for hours every single day about our wants, our dreams, the lives we want to have, what it's gonna look like. So I've really built a clear image of this life that I want. And now it's about figuring out like a path to getting there. So we decided that we were both going to start businesses, and then we would update each other every single week of what we've done. Like, oh, I've reached out to this person, I've ordered this came in, like just kind of progress reports. And we had like accountability partners, and that's how I kind of started my business. I started that 2018-ish, and the first round did not go as planned. And I got discouraged. I was in my sad girl era. I let a year go by before I tried to do it again. But I read this magical book. It's called The Happiness Advantage: How a Positive Brain Fuels Success in Work and Life. And this got me out of my sad girl, whatever phase that was. It got me out of it, because this made me realize that you have to be happy. You have to be positivity, kind of like, personified for success to find you. Like, when you have a positive brain, your brain looks for more ways to solve problems. When you're being all negative and a negative Nancy and all that type of stuff, like, your brain can't connect the dots and can't solve problems and be creative. But when you're positive, when you're happy, when you know things will work out, that's when you'll find success. So this honestly is one of the things that's changed my mindset from what it was growing up with like scarcity and lack, to knowing that like money's invisible. If I want it, I can create it, and just not giving up. So I restart the business, and I order 100 hoodies. I maxed out my credit card. So I started this off with a maxed out credit card and a graduation present. My dad gave me some money for graduation, and then I maxed out my credit card, and then I maxed it again to pay for the balance of that first bulk. And I started from there. I was being creative. I created the website all by myself on Wix. I put like a Photoshop photo of the hoodie that I ordered, and a different color of it. I put a different color. I sold out, and then I put the hoodie that I had bought as like available. I was reaching out to like Black-owned pages on Instagram, asking them to post like something that I made to make it look like it was going viral, and then it made it go viral. I went from 30 to 100 followers a week from my launch. So this is January 2020. So from when I started in 2018 to January 2020 is how long it took me to officially launch my business. From a week from then, I had from 30 to 500 followers, and on the same day I got 500 followers, I had 1,000 followers from being creative and trying a bunch of things all at once. So I kept up that routine of being creative over the past couple of years. And obviously I've fallen into, sad girls phases. Like year two, my head was big. I made $25,000 my first year, and I didn't even plan for that to even happen. Like I thought I was gonna sell maybe 200 hoodies. I sold 400. So year two, I'm like, oh, let's buy 300 hoodies all at once. And then the 300 hoodies were not selling. I could not sell these for anything. I thought it was so clever. The hoodie said, "You have stolen more than we could ever loot." And I'm like, yep, dropping after Black History Month. It's gonna fly off the shelves. We're gonna be millionaires. It's destined. That's just not how that's not what worked. I was also at the time depending on other people to post for me. So I would send the hoodies out to people so they could take pictures so I could post, because I don't really wear hoodies. And it was a unisex brand. So I was mainly sending it to like men and stuff. And kind of like trying to leverage other people to build your brand just was not working, and I had to pivot. I spent a whole year shelling out money that wasn't, making the business money back. And I decided to invest in working on my loungewear line. So I spent that whole summer getting samples made, fixing the measurements, changing the fabric, changing the sizing of stuff, because I work with manufacturers, I don't work with vendors. The difference is vendors sell pre-made things, and then there's a bunch of people selling the same stuff, or you can work with a manufacturer to create something super custom, but you have to provide them all the specs, and that's what I do. So luckily, the loungewear line did extremely well. So my second year, it helped me make $35,000, which was an improvement from year one. And then my third year, the loungewear was all I was focusing on. It was selling out like hot cakes. It went from selling out in a week to making $30,000 in a week. And I was like, I made $30,000 in a week. That's more than I made in a year before. So it went from selling out in a week to selling out in like 3 days, to selling out in a day, to selling out in an hour. And each time I'm dropping the collections, I'm ordering twice as much as the collection before. So I had to scale it. I couldn't do it all at once. I didn't have funding. There was nobody helping me. I was just taking my money, making money off of it, and then putting it all back into the business. So if I spent $1,000 and made 3, I put the 3 in so I can make 6. I put the 6 in so I can make 12. I put the 12 in so I can make 24. Like that's how I was using the money. I always put the money all the way back into the business. I didn't spend any of it on myself. I separated myself completely from the business at the time to who I was. The business money was for the business to scale. And that's how you have to see your business when you're first starting out if you want to scale. So that third year now, everything's selling out. I have this community around me. I have girls on TikToks who love the product. I have girls on Instagram who love the product. I just have so many happy people. I have some unhappy people, but I'm a customer service girly. So if you're unhappy, I'm going to make sure you're happy at the end of the day. And we ended up making $500,000 last year. And a bulk of that was from October to December, where I made $300,000 in 3 months from being consistent, believing myself, always trying different things, of different ways to market it, and just believing in yourself and taking a leap of faith. Like I got this warehouse that I'm sitting in October before I was even ready to have a space this large, because I knew the space I wanted to grow into. So I had to place myself there, so the shelves that I have in this room now would have space to grow. Like if I had tried to continue to do this out of my apartment, out of my mom's house, it would not be where it is now. I was not afraid to spend the money on the business and not on myself. And I'm just super proud of how far the business has come. Obviously, if you guys have been around for a couple of years, we've changed our name, and now we're St. Venus. I've rebranded, and I will get into the reasons why in another video where I talk about the mistakes I've made and what I've learned. But I had to rebrand because of some trademark stuff that could have been avoided. But like I said, I did not know business owners growing up. I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. I was doing this all by myself, figuring out everything through mistakes I've made. So, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And I'm just hoping that on this channel, you guys can avoid some of the mistakes I've made, that I can equip you guys with the questions to ask when looking for things with, manufacturers or vendors or whatever you want to go with. I'm hoping to start a few more businesses maybe, and then we can really see, start to finish of something together. And that's basically it. I could not have done any of this without all of you who are, send me the sweetest messages, support me, keep me going really, because at the end of the day, this community is so large. It's so many of you who time and time again just show up. And I'm showing up for y'all this year. So whatever you guys want, drop them in the comments below. I'm going to make sure this channel serves you just as much as it serves me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been a crazy 3 years. It has not happened overnight. You got to be creative. You got to believe in yourself. You got to read and feed your mind. Okay? You got to feed your mind with quality things. We're going to talk about books on this channel. There are so many books that I've read that have helped kind of, you know, mold my mind into where it is now, where my vision is clear. And that's what you guys need. You guys need a clear vision. You guys need to, you know, invest in your mind. And anything in this life is yours. I honestly and truly believe that. Nobody is special. The only difference between me and somebody watching this right now that wants to start something is the fact that I started 3-4 years ago. Almost 5 now, because it's 2023 and I basically started in 2018. Almost 5 years ago. That's the only difference, is I started 5 years ago. So I hope that shows you. It does not happen overnight. It took me 5 years to get here. 5 years of starting and quitting and starting and quitting and, you know, being in my sad girl shit, you know, and never giving up. So, like, you know, the Hennessy motto goes, never stop, never settle. So I hope that inspires you all. And I hope you've gotten something from this video. And I just want to thank you guys for watching the video up until this point. I love you. Bye.